Hello friends, in this video I will share with you my 5 favorite or 5 top interview questions to ask of the interview, which is the reverse interview questions, which is the part where the interviewer turns around and says, we are towards the end of the interview, are there any questions for me? And here are those special 5 questions that you can ask to impress the interviewer completely. Here it goes. Number 1 question is to ask about growth and development opportunities in the organization. So, can you tell me about what are the growth and development opportunities within the organization? Because I just don't want to join your organization for the role that I'm applying for. I want to join your organization as a career. And hence, I want to know what are the opportunities with regards to growth and development in your organization. Now, what this does 2 things. One, it tells the interviewer that you are here for the long haul. You're not just here for the role. You're looking into the next role and the next role after that. And how do you achieve all of that? Second, it gives a signal that you are all about ambitious. So you're very ambitious and you're about growing and developing yourself. So you're just not limited to the role and you just want to do the things that are called out in the job description. Rather, you are ready to achieve more, do more, and hence grow and develop in the organization. And everyone would like to hire someone who has all the passion, ambition, is a hardworking person because they want to move up in the organization, versus hiring someone who just wants to stay there in the role and just passively want to work and do the job that they are given, as against someone who wants to go above and beyond. So you are kind of giving a signal that you want to go above and beyond by inquiring about growth and development opportunities in the organization. Now, one call out before we move further. I have 2 requests for you. 1, press the like button, as this keeps me motivated. 2nd, press the subscribe button, as this notifies you as soon as I put a new content on this channel. On this channel, I post content pertaining to early and mid-career professionals for financial and career success. Apart from that, in case you want to support me for creating unbiased content like this, you can support me on patreon.com. I will leave the link to my page in the description of this video. Now let's get rolling back into the video. Second is asking the interviewer, especially if this particular interviewer has interviewed you more than once, then this trick really works, which is to ask the interviewer, can you tell me if you have any concerns related to my candidacy? What you're trying to do here is the interviewer has asked you all the questions. They've interviewed you, and there might be some things that kind of raised a red flag, or they weren't really sure about you, or they don't think you are a great fit in that particular one area or one competency. However, you gave an answer, they really didn't like the answer, but the interview is almost towards the end and they didn't feel like probing you further. And suddenly when you ask this question, that particular light bulb turns on and they go like, yeah, there's one thing which I thought you could have spoken more about, which is this particular area, let's say leadership, pricing, portfolio, strategy, whatever they are particularly looking for, and they thought you didn't do a good job during the interview or during 1 or 2 interviews. Now, the reason I say it works best if the particular individual has interviewed you twice, because then you kind of go and say, I've connected with you more than once now. So you know a lot about me, you've read my resume, you interviewed me. And basis that, putting all of that together, I just want to understand if there is any concern you have regarding my candidacy. If it's just the one interview that particular individual has taken, in that case, you can still use it, but it's not as powerful or it's not as easy to use as it could be if that particular individual has spoken to you more than once. But still, I highly recommend using it, which is to just say, tell me if you have any concerns with regards to my candidacy, given what I've shared with you in the interview. And if they say no, by the way, it's also good news, because now they are kind of in pressure. Because when they go back, they already know that they told you there is nothing wrong with you. All you did was good. They got everything they wanted from you. So when they come up with an excuse of not hiring you, it better be a great excuse. It has to be exceptional excuse. It just cannot be because you didn't cover that particular area on strategy or on pricing or on marketing or on budgeting, whatever, because you already asked them, let me know if there is anything that I didn't cover. And if they said, no, you've covered everything, then they are into pressure, making sure that they come up with a very strong excuse for not hiring you, which means they won't have many excuses for not hiring you, except if they really found someone who's far better than you, which is usually a typical excuse as well. But nevertheless, they are in pressure. They will be in pressure to kind of say yes to your candidacy. Next is to ask the interviewer about themselves. Everyone loves talking about themselves. No one wants to talk about the company, their initiatives, their growth plans, sustainability, all that. People typically come and they pretend that they've read about the company and they'll start talking about the initiatives that the company is doing, their sustainability plan, and how they're passionate about those sustainability ideas and all. This is good, but as an interviewer, it doesn't relate to me because I'm not working on these projects. Unless that particular individual is working on one of those projects, then it's good. But for the most part, these big projects are run somewhere in the corner of the company, and most of the people in the organization may not be involved. So you want to talk, or you want to ask this particular individual about them, because you want them to speak about themselves, because everyone loves speaking about themselves as against speaking about the organization or the initiatives that the organization is doing. So you can go about asking, can you tell me what keeps you motivated in the organization? Or something like, you've been in the company for X number of years. What has kept you in the company, wake up every day and feel motivated? What keeps you going? And suddenly you are asking me a question about myself, about how I perform in the organization and how the organization has treated me and how I've given to the organization, what motivates me. This is fun for me to talk. So the idea is you close or end the interview in a way where you make the interview talk about themselves and feel good about themselves as they go out of the interview. Similarly, another good thing to ask is about the organization culture, because here also people kind of talk about themselves in that culture. So you can go about asking, can you please tell me about what is the culture like in the organization and how do you find the culture? And certainly that's a good question to ask as well. Kind of it serves two purposes. One, you make them talk about themselves because they'll talk about how they fit in the culture. But second, they'll also talk about the culture and will get the feeling that you are a person who values culture, who just doesn't come and does their desk job and goes to home. Rather, he is about being part of the organization, being that one brick in the organization which lifts everyone up. So you're interested in getting into the right culture, as they are interested in knowing if you are a cultural fit as well or not. So that would be nice for you to know what kind of culture is in the organization, because it can serve one more purpose, which is in case they talk about a particular aspect of the culture which you didn't relate to in your interview earlier, maybe you can jump onto it and say, yes, this is exactly the kind of culture I thrive in as well, I enjoy as well, and I would like to be part of. This is really good. I'm really happy to have applied for this organization because this is something which I also have passion for, or I enjoy, or I thrive in such a culture. Another thing similar to the candidacy question, you can also ask about what does success look like for this particular individual 1 year down the lane. Now here what you're doing is you're making sure that if there was any aspect of the role that you didn't spell out in the interview, however it is very important, you catch it now and you address it. So let's say there was a part of the role which was very important and they talk about in a year's time, the success for this individual would be to be able to fit in the organization, the matrix organization, and be able to gather data and develop relationship across different functions. Now this might be something you've not spoken of in the interview. And you go like, you missed it, because either such a question was not asked, or even if it was asked, you answered it in a very different way and you addressed a different aspect. Suddenly you can say, oh, thank you for saying that, because I currently work in a matrix organization as well, and in my current role I have to relate, or I have to connect with different individuals across the globe, across different business units, and work with them, and I've developed great relationship with them because this is the only way I'm able to produce the outcome, get the relevant inputs, get them in time, and then produce the outcome that I produce. Because this is, I work in a matrix organization, my role is very much weeded in that matrix, and hence I know exactly how to operate in any other matrix structure. So when you ask this question, which is, can you tell me what success looks like for this individual in a year from now? The interviewer will be giving those 3-4 bullets that they think are very important for this role. You hatch onto them, especially if you've missed any, and kind of reassure the interviewer that you are one of the best candidates, because those areas of success are the ones that you will be able to hit already given your prior experience. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully this video was of value to you, and in case it was, I'm sure you'll find another video very valuable for you where I talk about how to ace behavioral interview. Check it out here. Secondly, I have another video which should also be available for you where I talk about how to address the question where you introduce yourself. Tell me about yourself. Check it out here. Thank you.